everybody, it's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Welcome to Coffee and a Card. I don't actually have a coffee because I've already drunk it. So let's just get straight on with the card. I'm using today Thick Whisper White, and this is from an A4 sheet. I've literally cut it at 4 1/4 and then folded it in half. And that gives you a card that measures 4 1/4 by 5 7/8. Okay, and then this is chocolate chip. I always leave all of the measurements and what I've used over on my blog, so don't worry if you missed them. Chocolate chip 5 6/8 by 1 4/8. Crumb cake 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to layer that chocolate chip layer on there. I'm going to use Fast Fuse because I don't need any dimension on this particular layer. And I'll say again, the trick with Fast Fuse is to be very, very gentle. Just rest the roller on the card and then just guide it along. Don't press, you don't need to press. Okay? And then flick. The more gentle you are with Fast Fuse, the better it behaves. It's a bit like a naughty toddler, you know, you've got to be gentle with it, otherwise it'll have a padder in the middle of Asda. You don't want that. So I'm layering that on now, nice and neat, and then that will go on top, but I'm going to do some work on here. I don't need to do an insert because it's cream, and I'm actually making this card for one of my team members. I thought I may as well film it, who's recently promoted, so that's why I'm making the card. I can't just make cards for no reason, me. I have to have a reason to make it. I can't just craft for the sake of it. Now, I am using Floral Phrases, which is a beautiful stamp set. And you can get a coordinate in thinlets for it, which is detailed floral thinlets. I did buy them separately. At one time you could get them in a bundle. Now I think they're available separate. And this is beautiful because it comes in 3 parts. And basically, as it shows on the back here, if you can see, you can use the 2 parts to make a complete card front, or you can just use one section, and then it gives you an extra die, which is this one, if I can pick it up, which kind of like goes over that die to give you a nice neat edge. It's awesome to play with, really, really lovely. So, but I'm not using the actual die. What I'm going to do is I have cut mine, pre-cut it, and poked all the little bits out, and I'm going to use it as a stencil, okay, because there's more than one way to use things. So I'm using the Stampin' Up embossing paste, which I absolutely love, and I'm just going to bring in a wipeable surface, okay, just in case I make a big old mess. And I'm using this little palette knife here. Now I'm just going to decide, I'm just going to line my card up, and I'm going to decide where I want it. I want it round about there because I want to be able to put a sentiment at the bottom. I'm just going to put it a bit lower down actually, like so, about there. And then what I'll do is I'll just grab some washi tape and I'll secure my stencil that I've made myself from the die. I'll secure that in place with some good old washi tape. Always good for, it's not only good for decorating, it's good for, because it's peels back off and on again. So, you know, so it can help you get yourself in the right position, push it down nice and flat, and attach it carefully. Oops, carefully to the top of there as well, and to the bottom, because we don't want our stencil flapping about, as it were. We don't want it going baggy. I know what I mean. Right, there we go. Right, so we're all nice and secure now, so that if we slip, we're in the same position, aren't we? So everything's cool. So now I can get my embossing paste, which is beautiful stuff to play with. If you're in quite a warm environment, it can dry slightly. All you do is add a little bit of water, give it a good old mix, okay, and it'll be fine. Mine is stored right above my radiator, so mine does sometimes go a bit dry, but I just add a bit of water to it and it's fine. and then you just mess about. Oops, don't want it all over my card. Forgot about that then. We're having so much fun I forgot not to get it on the rest of my card. But it does just wipe off. You've got plenty of time before it dries to adjust any mess, as it were. Oh, I'm getting in a right mess. Oh, I love it. It's a good excuse to have a good mess about. And it doesn't matter, you know, you're not icing a cake. It doesn't have to be even. In fact, the more rippled and the more uneven it is, the better the effect, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be level. It doesn't matter if it's patchy. We're being artistic here. Right. Just scrape off any excess and get it back in your tub, because you know we're not made of money and we're not wasting it. Okay. I'll just put that there. Put my lid on so it doesn't dry out. It does clean up very easy. Just a bit of warm water. Right, so we're going to carefully peel this off now, and it's going to have given us a lovely raised, stenciled effect. There we go. Carefully take that washi tape off, and that one. Okay. And then I've just got some little tiny bits that I don't want on there, so I'm just going to scrape that away with my bone folder before it dries. And then I'd leave that to dry. You can dry it with your heat tool if you want. I'm just going to set that to one side whilst I do my sentiment. Okay, and there you've got, I don't know if you can see from the side, but you've got a very raised effect. It's absolutely lovely, is that? Very impressive. I'm impressed, but I'm easily impressed anyway, so it's all right. Okay, so the sentiment I've chosen is congratulations, because it is a congratulations card for one of my ladies who has promoted within the team. Let me just make, yeah, just checking that my stamp actually fits on the card. I never thought of that. So I'm going to emboss it. I'm going to use white, Whisper White, but I'm also going to add clear embossing powder over the top. So we're getting a bit technical with this one, you know, there's a few techniques going on here. So I've got my white ink pad out, I've got my Versamark ready, and I have some card. And I have my embossing ink. So I'm going to just dust my piece of card here. Now what you do is you create a sandwich with the Versamark and the ink. So you start with the ink. So you add your ink on your sentiment. I think that's right. Or do you put Versamark first? I think you put Versamark first. I think I've done it wrong. I've done it wrong way around. You do it in the Versamark first, then put it in the ink. Let's rub that off. It'll be all right. Versamark first, ladies. Then the ink on top. And the Versamark will not hurt your ink pad, okay? Then the ink. Okay, because then when you're stamping, you'll have your ink layer and then the Versamark layer on top. Don't know what we're thinking then, I did it wrong way around. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it about there. As close to the edge as I can, and as straight as I can. Okay. Is that stamped? Very good. I don't know, but I'm adding embossing powder over the top. Don't think that's done a right good job. I think I'll do that again. Not impressed with that. Let me have another go. Let me just see if it's this ink. That's not very good. It's probably me that's not doing it right. Doesn't show up terribly good, does it? Let's have a look at how we can adjust that. We're going to use some white embossing powder. I think my white ink pad must be drying out. But, you know, I'll always show when I've done something wrong so that you can correct it. I think that needs re-inking. So, let's try again. Okay, so Instead, we'll just go straight on the Versamark. Okay. Just and stamp. Okay. And then I'm going to use my white embossing powder. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and sometimes when you're crafting, things don't work out. I'm not editing it out because, you know, it's good to show that you don't give up on a project. If something doesn't work first time, try something else. Plenty on. That's better. And now I know that I need to go and order myself a refill for my white ink pad. Right, so I'm going to heat set that now. So give me 1 minute. And off we go. That's lovely, that's much better. Nice bright white, that's what I wanted. That really is lovely. Okay, well I will bear that in mind, that if I want a nice bright white on a coloured card, I shall use the clear embossing powder, white embossing powder rather than white ink. There you go, you learn something new every day. It's just a shame I always learn them in the middle of doing videos, but there you go. I'm going to chop this out now. Straight as I can. It's not terribly straight to start with, so I'll have to be inventive. Can always adjust it. It's not, doesn't matter. There we go. I'll just get it cut out first, then I can adjust it, can't I? Let's have a look. That's about as straight as an iron bob note, is that, Amanda? That's terribly on the wonk. Let's sort it out. We'll get there. And trim that. And we'll trim down there. And trim there. Just a little bit more on there. Just to keep that straight. And that'll do for me. That's alright. I'm going to fast fuse that onto a brown layer. Just with a very tiny increment, not massive, just tiny. Teeny weeny. Okay, and then trim around it again. Trying to keep that increment the same all the way around. There we go, we're there, we're cooking with gas. And let's have a look at my embossing paste. Now you can dry it with your heat gun. I'm going to give it a helping hand. There we go, it doesn't take that long to dry, to be honest. Now I'm going to stick that, but I think I want some ribbon. I think I'll have some of this one, which has got like a gold line all the way through. So let's have a look what we're going to do with this. Shall I just have... I haven't decided, as you can see, I haven't done a sample because it's for, you know, one of my team. I'm not... you know, pre-planning it massively. It's, you know, I'm making it special for her, so it's a new, completely brand new design. I might do it on a loop like that. Let's have a look what that looks like. Let's have a look. Crafting, make it up as you go along crafting, this is. No, the sentiment is too long for that, so we're not having that. So I'm going to cut it there. Just trim it again. And then I'm going to cut it at the other side about there. Let's have a look. That's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run a line of fast fuse on the back of my sentiment. And I'm going to stick my ribbon as central as I can. There we go. And then run some more fast fuse over the top so I can stick that on my card. There we go. And there we go. I think that's really pretty. So now I just need to mount that on some dimensionals. Probably add some in the middle as well, just because I don't want that card to go skew with. I can't think of a better term than that. I don't want it to go skew with, okay? I'll remove all of those. And the embossing paste is lovely to play with. And you can mix it with other mediums. You might have other branded stuff at home as well as Stampin' Up. I do like Ink Golds, Rub and Buffs, things like that. You know, mix and match. You can ink on them, you can paint on them, you can do what you want with them. And now I'm going to just try and get that. I don't want to ruin it by getting it wonky. There we go. That's the fella. And there we go. That's quite a lovely natural looking card. I really like that. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you'll give it a try. The embossing paste is lovely to play with. That is lovely and dry now. So you've no need to worry about it smudging or moving. Well, I hope that my lady enjoys that when she gets it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.